Hi, in this session we are going to look at inventory valuation. So basically inventory, as we know, is governed by the International Accounting Standard number 2, IAS number 2. And inventory should be valued at the cost. As far as the cost is concerned, it depends on what inventory valuation model are we following. Because if we are following the first in first out method, then the inventory cost may be different. And if we are following the average cost method, which also has another couple of versions, continuous and periodic, then the value of the inventory may be different. One method, which is last in first out, is not prescribed by the IAS number 2 anymore, but it is still applicable to those businesses or organizations which are quite small and they do not come under the jurisdiction or ambit of the audit and listing requirements. So we are going to look at these few transactions to apply the first in first out, last in first out, weighted average cost, etc. So please have a look at the information first before we start working through the methods. So opening balance means on the 1st of December, they had 300 units at the unit cost of £2 or whatever the currency it would be, at a total cost of 600. So 300 times 2 is 600. Then receipts. Receipts simply means purchases. So on the 7th of December, they purchased or received 200 units at this unit cost. Then on the 8th of December, they issued. Issued means sales. So they sold or issued to production 400 units. Then receipts or purchases 250 units. Then issues or sales 200 units. Then receipts or purchases 150 units. And then issues or sales 100 units. Now, did you notice that the inventory unit cost is rising gradually? So right at the beginning of the month, the unit cost was £2, which gone up to 220, then gone up to 250, then gone up to 280. So it's a rising trend in prices. Okay, so keep all these observations and then try to link these observations with the answers based upon FIFO, LIFO, or AVCO. So let's proceed with it. First of all, we are going to use the first in first out. So 300 units at 2. Okay, so here we go. On the 1st of the month, they had 300 units at 2 or whatever the currency, as I mentioned, not to worry too much about this. So that gives us a value of £600. Then the next transaction took place was on 7th, 200 units at 220, 200 units at £2.20, which gives us 440. So basically now the inventory will be updated in this way, that we have 300 units at 2, which is this, plus we received another 200 units at 2.2, giving us a total value of 440. So now we've got total of 500 units with these two values. Now let's see what happens in the next transaction. On the 8th, they sold or issued 400 units. So on the 8th, they issued 400 units. And now bearing in mind, method is first in, first out. So which 400 units were sold out? So we would say that 200 of these units would be issued from this 300. Is that okay? Sorry, not 200, 300. 300 units would be taken away from these 300, and the remaining 100 will be picked up from the second lot of inventory. So 300 first in, first out, and the remaining 100, because they sold 400 units in total, so the remaining 100 units would be taken from this new inventory. Now, what is left unsold at the moment? Remember, 300 have been sold. Out of 200, 100 have been sold. So the remaining inventory is 100 units at 2.2 equals to 220 pounds. So all 300 units have been issued away. Out of 200, 100 units have been issued away. So these 100 units are left. Then on the 11th, they purchased or received 250 units at 2.5. Okay, so on the 11th, 250 units have been purchased at 2.5 equals to 625. So now my inventory situation becomes something like this. So these 100 units plus 250 right, okay? So that's my current balance on the 11th. Then on the 14th, they sold 200 units. They sold 200 units and the method is first in, first out. So now please look at the inventory balance here in the corner. Which one are first in? So the 100 units are first in, which we will sell away first. And the remaining 100 units will be picked up from the lower inventory lot. And now I would say closing inventory consists of 150 of the latest units. Okay, and you can work out using your calculator. 150 into 2.5 giving us 375 pounds. Right? So this is how you are going to proceed with. If you want, I can do one more transactions. On the 17th, they bought 150 units. 150 units, and they bought these at the rate of 2.8 per unit with a value given here was 420 pounds. So now we can say we have 150 of these units plus we've got 150 of those units. Okay, so you can work on the basis of this. Thank you.